sword was a tool of justice. Not used in anger. Not used for vengeance. But now I'm not so sure. And besides, this isn't my sword.
Weapons, whether it be swords, guns, or blunt objects. Weapons are awesome. Especially video game weapons, because with video game weapons, we can get creative, we can get crazy, we can get unbelievably awesome. There are a absolutely massive amount of video game weapons to choose from. We've got the magical swords and other melee weapons from fantasy games. We've got guns. Oh boy, do we have a ton of guns from modern shooters and sci-fi shooters. I gotta tell ya, making this top 10 was quite a challenge because there are a lot of weapons from a lot of games that are really awesome. However, from all the games I have played, these 10 stood out the most to me. These 10 weapons from video games are the ones I enjoyed the most. These are the weapons that, out of a huge arsenal to choose from, I thought I had the most fun with and I preferred to use. Now please take into account that this is my top 10 video games weapons list. I have not played every video game out there, and I am a PC-only gamer, so if a video game weapon that you really love doesn't show up on the list, it's because it's my list and it's my opinion and it's what I like. So, fair warning, the portal gun and the gravity gun are not going to be on this list. Alright, let's get started. My top 10 video game weapons. The Red Faction games, specifically Red Faction Guerrilla and Red Faction Armageddon, have some of the most creative and destructive weapons ever in video games. Especially in Armageddon. I mean, there are so many great weapons to choose from Red Faction Armageddon. The Black Hole Gun, love the Black Hole Gun, or the infamous Mr. Toots. But as awesome as those video game weapons are, they're just not as creative as the magnet gun. Number 10, the magnet gun. The magnet gun is so creative. What the magnet gun does is that it shoots two magnetic balls. You shoot the first magnet at an object. You then shoot the second at another object. The first magnet will then be attracted to the second magnet, causing mass destruction and hilarity to ensue. There is just so much creative possibilities with the magnet gun. You get to toy around and destroy your environment in the most creative and fun-looking ways. Those magnets can literally stick on anyone or anything. Any object or building or creature that you see, you can stick those magnets on them and watch the chaos ensue. Have buildings crashing into one another. Have explosive gasoline tanks crash into towers. Have aliens slam into other aliens. Or have debris slam into other aliens. Or hell, have an alien slam into a wall. Just using the power of magnets. The magnet gun is so much fun, it's so creative. However, as fun as it is to use, it can be a bit difficult to use in combat because the magnet gun is a weapon you take your time with. You aim your targets and you choose what you want to use effectively, whether it be a building or an enemy. While there is that drawback that it is slow and you need to take your time to aim up your shots for the magnet, the gun is still a lot of fun to use, and you are guaranteed to have a ball just using those magnets, having the landscape and enemies just crash into one another. Number 9. The Mace of Molag Bal. Skyrim has a ton of awesome fantasy weapons. They have excellent weapon design and are fun to hack and slash away at your enemies with. However, the standout weapon for me, surprisingly, is not a sword, but a mace, and I'm usually a sword guy. The Mace of Molag Bal is a very special weapon. The only way to acquire it is to complete the quest House of Horrors, in which you must assist the Daedric Prince Molag Bal. By trapping and then torturing one of his enemies, he will gift you with his mace. The mace does a base damage of 16, is a weight of 18, and has 2 special effects. It deals 25 damage to stamina and magicka, and if your target dies within 3 seconds, it fills a soul gem, making the weapon pretty useful in combat. But let's get this out of the way. The reason this weapon is so good, is so awesome, is because of its design. Look at this thing. Look at all the detail and the texture, the demonic face, the spikes, the weapon just... Oh, it is so well crafted, so well designed in the look of this weapon. It makes you feel like such a badass when you start beating enemies to death with it. The mace does good damage, has very useful special effects, helps fill soul gems, and just looks really awesome. It's a really great weapon and a standout weapon in Skyrim. The quest is fun to obtain it, and it just looks so awesome. However, it does look quite a bit brutal when you're killing enemies with it. The Mace of Molag Bal. A standout weapon, a standout quest. I think giving Molag Bal a little help is really worth it for this weapon.
So much easier to roll.
Borderlands. Borderlands. The infamous RPG first-person shooters that have over a bazillion guns. Literally, endless amounts of guns reside within Borderlands 1 and 2. So, when playing Borderlands, everybody's going to have their own favorite gun, whether it be one they found in a chest, they completed a quest to obtain, or looted off an enemy. Since there are bazillion guns, there are a bazillion choices. From those bazillions of guns from 2 different games, what gun from Borderlands stood out to me? What catched my eye? What was my favorite gun? Let me give you a hint. In Spain, it's pretty plain. Number 8, the Bane. Now, some of you are wondering, what makes the Bane so special? What makes this SMG such a standout weapon? How about you listen to this? In order to obtain the Bane, you have to go through a very, very long quest that has you searching for the cursed weapon. This weapon that has killed so many just by them wielding it. They had to get rid of it, no matter what they did. So you start a quest across Pandora to search for this cursed weapon. And it just so happens to be the Bane. The Bane talks. Every time you switch weapons, it says... Weapon! Weapon! Every time you reload, it says... And every time you shoot it, the Bane has awful accuracy at first. When you first start shooting the gun, it is inaccurate as all hell, but the longer you keep shooting, the more accurate it becomes. When using the Bane, it's like playing Russian roulette. Are my shots gonna hit the enemy or not? If they do, it will be very effective because the Bane is a pretty powerful weapon, depending on what level you got it on. Aiming down the sights of this gun is basically impossible. Your character looks down the sights of this weapon like they're drunk. But probably the most irritating part, and believe it or not, there's even more irritating things to this weapon, is that when you have it equipped, you move unbelievably slow. Sprinting does jack. Walking normally, it feels like you're a turtle. Or worse, a snail. The most effective way to move around with this weapon is to constantly keep switching weapons to move fast, then equip the gun, then shoot it. However, every time you switch weapons, it says switching weapons. The Bane is awesome! I don't know what else to say. It's so crazy, so kooky, so irritating, I had to put it on the list. It's the most standout weapon. From the bazillions of guns in Borderlands, the Bane will leave a real impact, especially on your ears and your sanity. Number 7. Vital Suit, Laser Lance. When battling giant aliens and armies of space soldiers, you're going to need pretty big guns, and Lost Planet 2 has a lot of really big guns. However, the one I enjoy the most is the Laser Lance. One would think this would just be a giant laser gun. Nope, it's a giant laser sword. When holding the weapon as a human soldier, you do a stabbing or jabbing motion with it like a lance. However, when you attach it to a mech, it becomes a giant laser sword. Lightsaber, eat your heart out. The laser lance does massive amounts of damage, killing human soldiers in one hit. Not only that, the sword has an amazing range, hitting enemies from quite a distance away from you. It does massive damage to aliens, it does critical damage to VS's, it kills everything in one hit. It looks so spectacular. The visual effects for the laser lance are awesome when you're swinging it around. Enemies go flying when you hit them with it. There's the flashes, the glows. The laser lance, it just looks so awesome. However, you only get to use it in 2 levels. The most powerful weapon and the most cool looking weapon in Lost Planet 2 is only available in 2 levels. What is it with Japanese video game designers and having the most awesome and interesting aspects of their game only appear in very small segments? No matter. Either way, the laser lance is awesome. It's super powerful. It looks awesome. I really don't know what else to say. It's just an awesome concept, an awesome weapon, and a very effective one at that. The laser lance. Damn it, why only 2 levels?
The American is here! Go, go, go!
Saints Row, another series famous for its very silly, very overpowered weapons. Now, I know a lot of people's favorite is probably the dubstep gun. Yeah, that's cool. You know what's cooler? The shark-o-matic. Number 6, the shark-o-matic. The shark-o-matic shoots fish bait. you shoot fish bait onto people. And when you do that, this happens. A giant shark comes out of the ground and eats the target. If that is not the most ridiculous, awesome thing I have ever seen, I don't know what is. The shark-o-matic is stupid. It's silly, but it is so damn awesome. Shooting people and then having them getting eaten by a shark that just happens to burst out of the ground is amazing. Not only that, the gun is actually really powerful, very effective in combat. Can take out a bunch of enemies at once if the enemy you shot with the fish bait happens to be in a group of people. Also, that shark is one mean mother. Doesn't matter if you're near the enemy when it comes to eat them, or if the enemy isn't in a car. It won't matter if you get hurt in the process, the shark will eat its target. Stupid, it's awesome, it's bloody, it's gory, it's a giant shark that comes out of the ground. The shark-o-matic. It's really flippin' stupid, but it's really flippin' awesome. Now, for anyone who has played the Dead Space games, I think we can all agree on this. Number 5, the plasma cutter. You just can't beat a classic. The plasma cutter is the poster boy weapon. It is Isaac Clarke's weapon. It is the staple of Dead Space, the plasma cutter. Dead Space is not Dead Space without the plasma cutter. But what makes the plasma cutter so unique is that it's not even a gun, it's not even a weapon, it's a tool. It's a tool used by miners and engineers for cutting materials. It was never meant to be used as a weapon. Yet, in the hands of Isaac Clarke, it is the ultimate necromorph dismembering device. The plasma cutter just has a really good feel, a good fire rate, a good amount of damage, and those iconic free blue laser pointer beams that emanate from the weapon when you aim it. It really helps you picking and choosing your shots, especially when you're tearing necromorphs apart. It is excellent for aiming and picking out limbs that you want to take off your necromorphs, whether it be the head, arms, or legs. Not only that, the awesome feature of the plasma cutter is being able to choose whether to make the shots with the plasma cutter, since the shots go in like a slash, a straight line. You can choose whether that slash will be horizontal or vertical, making you pick and choose your shots and making you dismember necromorphs all the more easier. Switching the plasma cutter to horizontal mode is perfect for taking out legs, and even some arms. Then again, so is vertical mode. You have to constantly switch between horizontal and vertical with the plasma cutter, depending on the position of the necromorph and where you're positioned. The weapon is incredibly dynamic, and it never gets old. I've played through Dead Space, Dead Space 2, and Dead Space 3, each without using any other weapon but the plasma cutter. And not for any stupid achievements, because, well, on the PC we don't have achievements for Dead Space. Doesn't matter. I love the plasma cutter. It is a great weapon. It's solid, it feels good, and it's dynamic. The plasma cutter is awesome and iconic, and one of the standout features of the Dead Space games. Ah, Crysis, another one of my favorite franchises. A lot of awesome weapons in this series too. You have solid projectile weapons, alien energy weapons, and the Predator bow from Crysis 3 that everybody loves. But for me, the gun that will always be my favorite from the Crysis games appeared in Crysis 2. The mic, or microwave gun. Number 4, the mic, microwave gun. First off, the mic has an awesome design. It is an awesome looking weapon. The gun just has an awesome sci-fi look, feel, and design. From the barrel to those huge wires to the pumps or radiators on the sides, the gun just looks awesome. But let's be honest here. It's a microwave gun. How awesome is that? The mic is your best friend when fighting your alien enemies, the Ceph, because the mic cooks them inside their metal armor. The mic cooks them with very satisfying results, having the Ceph blow up in piles of goo and jelly. I really don't need to say much more. The mic just looks cool, and it has very satisfying effects on your alien enemies. Not only that, the weapon is just very effective. You can take out hordes of aliens with very satisfying results. The mic is just very satisfying to use. Sound it makes when you fire the weapon, that humming. Then seeing the sparks and heat waves emit from the weapon, and watching your alien opponents just go pop, and jelly splatters everywhere. The mic is an awesome creative sci-fi weapon, well deserving of the number 4 spot on my list. Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry has some pretty awesome wicked weapons, but none so awesome as a certain suitcase. A certain suitcase that happened to be Pandora's box, and capable of transforming into 666 different weapons. Number 3, Pandora. Pandora just embodies what makes the old series of Devil May Cry with the first Dante so awesome. It's wild, it's wicked, it's crazy, it's fun. That is Pandora in a nutshell. While it doesn't actually transform into 666 different forms, that's simply not possible, it does have 6 different forms. It can be turned into a crossbow rocket launcher, a giant rocket launcher, a spinning blade, a machine gun, a giant super laser cannon, and a portable rocket launcher shooting vehicle. This suitcase, this one weapon, is 6 weapons in one, and using them in conjunction with one another, combining the different forms of Pandora to just absolutely decimate your demon foes, is an awe-inspiring sight. It looks cool, it's really fun to use, and Dante just looks like a badass when he's carrying the weapon around. Pandora, 666 destructive weapons in one. Number 2, the glaive. Dark Sector is a really underrated action game. And that's a damn shame because it has one of the greatest video game weapons of all time. The glaive. The poster boy and selling point of Dark Sector. This free-bladed disc is one of the most destructive weapons you will ever find. This one weapon can level armies, highly trained soldiers, and deadly infected monsters. The glaive can be thrown like a boomerang or a disc. However, when it hits its enemies, it usually results in death and dismemberment. And blood. Lots of blood. The glaive can be thrown a great distance. So, you probably won't even need to use your gun. You can conserve ammo and just use your glaive. As you play through Dark Sector, you will unlock more and more upgrades for the glaive, including a charge shot, where if you wait for just the opportune moment to throw the glaive, you will throw it with increased strength and power, allowing you to break pesky chains that are holding doors, or get a guaranteed dismemberment on an enemy. The glaive can also be infused with the elements, such as electricity. You can charge the glaive up with electricity, allowing you to unlock sealed electronic doors, or just electrocute enemies to death with that. Or you can charge the glaive up with fire and set your enemies ablaze, or use it to burn away pesky infestation that may be blocking your path. Oh, but the most satisfying part about the glaive is the ability known as Aftertouch. After you throw the glaive, you can take direct control of it, while the world around it moves in slow motion, allowing you to pick and choose your targets, maneuver the glaive around cover, or get some really awesome gory shots of you dismembering a bunch of enemies in one throw. The glaive looks awesome. It is incredibly versatile and dynamic, and it is just so much fun to use, infusing it with abilities, using Aftertouch to direct it. I've played through Dark Sector without even using a gun, and using just the glaive. It is that powerful, it is that fun to use, it is that versatile, dynamic. And not to mention, the glaive can be a very, very brutal weapon. That's incredibly disturbing, but incredibly satisfying. Time to reveal my #1 favorite video game weapon. But first, a recall of the last 9. noticed throughout this countdown, I really enjoy weapons that are fun to use, that are creative, that are versatile and dynamic. Now for my number 1, it is all of those, but it's also something else. It's something very different. It's technically multiple weapons, it's technically ammunition for a weapon, and they are technically living creatures. Number 1, animal ammos from Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. This is something that could only be done in a video game. The bounty hunter known as Stranger doesn't like guns, so he uses a small arm-mounted crossbow. And as his ammunition, he uses living creatures. That is just so awesome! There are 8 different animal ammo types. Sapflies, fuzzles, skunks, chimpunks, bullamites, fudslugs, stingbees, and boombats. All of which are deadly, effective, versatile, unique, and kinda cute. Now, seeing as your ammunition is live, living creatures, you won't find ammo boxes or pick up ammo from dead enemies. You have to hunt for ammo. You have to go out for the wild, look for little nests, beehives, bug holes, trees. You have to hunt for your ammunition in order to use it against your enemies. Every single one of these animal ammos is so creative and useful. For instance, the Zapfly, which you get an unlimited amount of, can be used for a variety of reasons. From activating electronic locks, to activating traps that use electronic locks, to stunning enemies, to killing enemies, to the Stingbee, which basically acts as a machine gun as you rapid-fire bees at your enemies till they sting them to death, to Skunks, which are basically skunks, who when shot at enemies release a toxic gas that makes them vomit and stuns them, and the upgraded version of the skunks, where they get this cute little gas masks, makes them super-powered, because now when shooting them in their upgraded form, they create black holes that suck in enemies. Bolamites are basically spiders that when shot at enemies, tangles them up in web, and the upgraded version of the Bolamite basically turns it into a shotgun where you wrap up several enemies at once. Or the very popular Fuzzle, a rabid, fuzzy, sharp-toothed predator that can be used to set up mine traps or just be shot at enemies and watch them run around screaming in pain as the Fuzzle nibbles on them. The live ammo, the animal ammos from Oddworld Stranger's Wrath are creative, fun, diverse, dynamic, versatile, and never get boring to use. They are the main reason to keep replaying the game, just to keep using them because they're so much fun to use. Try out a different situation, a different group of enemies with a different ammo type. Use certain ammo types to be stealthy, use certain ammo types to go action hero and blow everything up. Animal ammos add endless replayability and fun to the game. It's such a shame that Oddworld Stranger's Wrath is such an underrated and underplayed game, because it has the funnest, the most fun video game weapon or weapons that I have ever used or played in a game. Hey, why don't you pick up and play Oddworld Stranger's Wrath? Do it for these guys. Do it for these adorable animal ammos, won't ya? I guarantee you will love using these little guys.
Oh, nice crossbow. Real comfy.